Hi and welcome back. You might ask yourself, why should we work with pandas and databases? And what is actually a database and SQL? So in this video, I will give you a short overview and show you the main motivating reasons for working with pandas and SQL databases. So what's a database? And many people think that a database and a table is the same. So here we have a two-dimensional table, and this is here our database. And actually databases and tables are not the very same thing, so that's not correct. So typically databases contain many tables, so not only one table, but many tables. And in so-called relational databases, these tables are somehow linked. And in our case here, we have the column movie ID in all tables, and therefore we can link those tables by the movie ID. So in the first table we have the movie ID, the movie title, and the movie budget. And then in the second table we have, for the very same movies, the vote count and the vote average. And then in the third table we have actually the genre ID and the genre names for these 5 movies here. And actually we can get the data into and out of databases with so-called SQL or SQL queries. And as this is a pandas and Python course, we are going to perform those queries with Python and pandas to actually load data from data frames into databases and vice versa, so from databases into pandas. Now, what are the benefits of working with pandas and SQL databases in parallel? And first of all, we can get the best of 2 worlds. And this means that first of all, in databases, we can store complex and nested data. So we have already seen that having nested data in pandas data frames is a bit tricky. So typically a pandas data frame works best with tabular data. And in addition, when working with pandas and databases in parallel, this is memory and performance efficient. And we should actually store large data in databases, so that's the long-term storage. And we should only load those data into Python and pandas that we really need for our analysis. So let's have an example here. And let's assume that our 3 movie tables contain a gigabyte of data. But we are only interested in the vote average and the genres of the Titanic movie. Then it wouldn't be memory and also performance efficient to actually load all 3 tables into pandas, merge those tables, and extract the information that we require. So it's definitely more efficient to just keep the tables here in the database and just extract the information that we want to have with an SQL query. Last but not least, the question is, why do we use SQLite and not MySQL or MySQL or whatever? And the answer is pretty simple. So SQLite or SQLite is free, serverless, and self-contained, and it requires actually 0 configuration. And also it's included already in Anaconda and in Python, so there's no installation required. And even the most complex SQLite database with many tables is contained in one single file on your computer. And finally, and maybe due to the above advantages, SQLite is the most widely used database engine. Alright, this was a short introduction, and let's see this in action in the next lecture, so hope to see you there. Bye.